always be able to have new, fresh information to provide. I'm just getting the live stream going, and then we'll begin to record this as well, so you can share this with your team as we go on. So let me just tell you a little bit about why we're here. What is Advancement Navigator if this is your very first time joining us? There we go. So Advancement Navigator is an app that I have found has really worked for everyone, the entire team. And I just wanted to mention that this is open to everyone as far as all of the affiliates of @Cost Metals. It's not just for one team, it's for everyone. And I appreciate all the leaders that are allowing their teams to join us, because we know how that goes. Sometimes each leader likes to do things a particular way. So cool. I'm very conscientious of all the teams, and we just want everyone to win. There's a free version, and the free version you could stay on forever. So it's not like we're going to do a bait and switch and pressure you to upgrade. What we believe is you're going to find so much value in this app. It's going to help your @Cost Metals business soar so much that you're going to decide, you know what, once it pays for itself, I'm going to upgrade. And keep in mind, if you do ever decide to upgrade for premium, then you're going to get a business write-off. So without further ado, but again, it's free. So welcome your team to join us, especially if they're getting started and they're looking for an additional income stream. I'm sorry. If they got started with @Cost Metals for an additional income stream, then they may not be able to have an outlay of information and so of money. And so this is great for them to get started, to be able to do something. And from the time that your team member sets up their account with the AdvNav for their @Cost Metals business, they could hit the ground running immediately and have an online presence. So let's go ahead and get me to share my screen. One moment here. I see there's a lot of people joining us. Really appreciate it. Okay. Oops, that didn't work. Let me try it one more time. So here's the behind the story. This is the first time I've been trained by the Rapid Funnel team. And this is the first time that I'm going to be doing this solo. Now, I learned of Rapid Funnel and this program back in 2017, and I was so impressed with it that I decided to buy the white label and create it for another business I was doing. And when that went under, I decided I'm going to bring it to @Cost Metals. And so this is how we have it, because they're doing fantastic. Corporate @Cost Metals is doing fantastic with the website, with replicated pages and so forth. But we need something a little extra for the field. So let me share with you all about that, and we'll dive into why the AdvNav app can really build your business. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So if you can see and hear me, just go ahead and type a 1 in the chat box. So the real beauty of this app, what is it? Well, it's designed to get anyone on your team up and running fast. And let's be honest, everyone is glued to their phone 24/7, right? You basically have your entire @Cost Metals business in your pocket. How cool is that? Everything you need is right here in one place. No more jumping between apps, tabs, or dare I say, actual paperwork. I mean, who really does that? That's a blessing. First up, we have a contact manager at the top left of the screen. You can keep track of everyone from your best leads to those. Don't think about it, folks. And when you're ready to share, you've got resources like surveys, videos, and our new lead generation page that practically pre-screens people for you. It's like the ultimate wingman. For those who are still on the fence about joining at Cosmetals, there's even a built-in email campaign that will sprinkle on them. You don't even have to worry about follow-up. It's like having a personal assistant, but without having to pay a paycheck. Feeling competitive? Good, because we've got leaderboards and contests to keep the energy high. Plus, the app tracks your hot prospects, helps you stay on top of tasks, and keeps you super organized. Now, here's my personal favorite. On the right, you'll see data and matrix. Yes, folks, numbers can be fun. The app shows you exactly how effective your efforts are so you can focus on what's working and where you might need a little coaching. It's like having a GPS for your business success. And speaking of coaching, this app even has a section for that. So when you need to get fired up or watch a tutorial to learn one of the many features that we have, you can do it, and it's going to be right there in the app. And trust me, we're just scratching the surface here. This app is packed with features that's going to make growing your ACM business smoother and faster than ever. And we have a 12-week program coming up. So every week we're going to dive into it just a little bit deeper. Now, keep in mind, I'll do the training, then I'll do a demonstration, and I'm going to ask and encourage you to actually do it right then. I want you to think big picture. Everything is about duplication. And so if I could get you guys to do it and maybe invite your team to do it, then they're going to start doing it. And on a Friday, if each of us just do 5 new contacts a day within an hour and have our team members doing it, let's say you end up getting 5 team members on here, that means 25 new exposures for your team on a Friday afternoon. And that's going to give you time to possibly close them before end of week Saturday night, Central Time, Central Time. How exciting. So going through this whole process of trying to find the technology to help just do everything we need to do and make everything more duplicatable, it wasn't smooth. And like many of you, I was trying every tool available to help my network marketing team succeed faster with less effort. I tested countless systems, email platforms, contact management apps, text blasters, lead purchasing, you name it, I tried it. The real problem wasn't that I couldn't figure these things out. I didn't want my team wasting their time doing the same. So fast forward to today, and you have all the access to this incredible white labeled version of Rapid Funnel. It's called the Advancement Navigator because we're going to help you advance through the ranks. It's customized specifically for your at Cosmetals business. We've been at it now. I started building it out in December of last year. And we're constantly adding stuff. Like you'll see if you're on the Telegram group, just yesterday, I added 2 more testimonials that you can share that's just going to keep helping people understand the vision of at Cosmetals. So this is a game changer. Instead of juggling multiple platforms that don't talk to each other like Aweber or MailChimp or whatever CRM I was testing that month, you now have everything you need in one place. The time saved alone is huge, but the real value goes beyond that. Now, here's the thing. I'm a leader, so I don't mind investing my time, energy, and money to figure all this out, but I don't want my team and my people going down that same rabbit hole. I want them focused on one thing, talking to people and sharing the story. That's where I realized that all the systems I have been using weren't duplicatable. That's where the Advancement Navigator app comes in. This app is built for duplication. It's right there on your phone, easy to set up, ready to use in minutes. If you can grasp the power of duplication, you'll understand that this is a brilliance of network marketing. It allows the average person to make an above average income without the overhead of traditional businesses, No buildings to lease, no employees to hire, just simple, actionable steps that anyone can follow. And that's what makes it duplicatable. But here's the kicker. Duplication is one of the least understood and most important concepts in building a great business with the Advancement Navigator app. And a lot of people in our space don't fully get it, but that's okay because you're here and you're about to understand it. So let's talk a little bit about confusion. I want you to type in the chat box. When you get confused, do you speed up and take action, or do you slow down and overthink it? Type 1 if you speed up and take action. 2 if you freeze up and overthink it. So most of us, and I do the same thing, most of us are going to slow down because a confused mind does nothing. It's frozen. You start questioning yourself. What do I say? Who do I talk to? What do I send? The beauty of this app is it removes the confusion. It gives you clarity. Thank you, Sandy, for typing 2. We got Gail said 2. She slows down. Sandy slows down. And we got Chris and Janice. They actually speed up and take action. That's really cool. So for those of you who've been working with it already, because now this is the 3rd series that we've done, you know what I mean. For those that are just starting, you'll soon see enough how much easier it is just to jump right in. You have everything at your fingertips ready to go. Finally, let's talk about authenticity in today's digital world. Being authentic is harder than ever, but it's more valuable than ever. There's no shortage of digital marketers or influencers out there who's going to tell you how to market yourself. And hey, if you're a social media influencer, hats off to you. That's an incredible skill set to have. But what about the person who's 17 levels deep in your organization? How can they do that? And can they? Probably not. Here's the real power of your Advancement Navigator. It's personal. It allows you to send a message, not as some faceless digital marketer, but as you. And that personal touch is what makes all the difference. It's your name, your voice, your connection. People open, read, and respond to it. It's not just another digital tool. It's a relationship builder. And that's what sets us apart from all of the other tech out there. So let's go into the solutions. So Advancement Navigator is all about solutions. Surely we're going to be doing these weekly trainings every Friday, which is going to help everyone stay engaged and excited. And if they're having an obstacle, if they're feeling a certain way about reaching out, which 90% of the population has a fear against rejection, then this is going to inspire them to look at it a little bit differently, to get past that and move forward. So one of the key features and the real secret weapon here is KPIs. And if you're thinking, what the heck is a KPI? Don't worry, it's just a fancy term for key performance indicators. Go ahead and write that down. KPI equals key performance indicators, which is really just measuring 1 inch of your business that matters most. In our business, it boils down to 2 things. 1, how many times you're sharing the story of your product and business. And number 2, the quality of those conversations. That's it. And let's be honest, keeping track of that can be a bit challenging, right? But not anymore. With AdvNav, that's the abbreviation for Advancement Navigator, the app will track exactly how many times you're reaching out and telling the story. And here's the best part. The more you tell the story, the faster you'll see results. I'm talking about getting the first commission check. And when that happens, it's like, bam, a belief shift. Suddenly you go from wondering if this will work to knowing it can. You shared the story, someone signed up for ACM, they joined your team, and boom, you're getting paid. Nothing boosts confidence like that first check. Am I right? Type some fire in the chat box if you agree. And if you haven't heard about the new Fast Start that ACM just rolled out at the launch on October 5th, you've got to hop on one of Antoine's Tuesday or Thursday webinars. He'll give you the details. But essentially, back in the summer, we had a 300, 300, 300 promotion. And it went so well that all the leaders wanted it for good. And JD decided, you know what, I'm going to save it for the launch and lay it out. So how cool is that? So what that means is if your brand spanking new, you haven't made your first check yet, that all you need is accumulate 300 on the left, 300 on the right, and you will be paid $300. And then after that, it's going to reset. It's for one time only for the very first check. And then it's going to be 500, 500, 500. But that's even better. So this is a 1-2 punch between the AdvNav system and at Cost Metals with the 300, 300, 300. So AdvNav will track exactly how many times you're reaching out and telling the story. That's key. But wait, there's more. The app also helps you see who's stepping into leadership. So sometimes you bring someone into your team who does a little here and there, and then bam, someone in their downline explodes and starts building like crazy. The app tracks it so you can see exactly who's making moves and where the magic is happening. AdvNav doesn't just help you get new recruits started, it helps you build layers of leaders using data to drive your actions. Awesome. Oops, went a little too far there. Here's the game plan for today. If you haven't done it yet, now's the time. Start making those first exposures. It may seem intimidating. You may have a lot of people on your chicken list. A chicken list means you're too chicken to reach out to them. Maybe some really cool mentors in your life, someone that you really admire in business. But don't worry, you could just share with them a little bit. It's all in the confidence, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you with your confidence, to give you ideas of how to reach out to people, and just to say, hey, if it is that mentor that you admire, that you feel a little intimidated with, then you can always phrase it a different way. You can say, hey, always start with a compliment. I really have admired you all these years and really appreciate all the time you put into me for X, Y, and Z. But something passed by recently, and I am a lover of precious metals. I found the best program here. Would you do me this favor? And in the next 24 hours, could you just watch a video that's like under 5 minutes long and give me your thoughts on it? That would be great. So trust me, you'll thank me later. The next step is to set up a goal. Goals are like jet fuel for your business. Tell yourself, I'm going to be on that leaderboard, because we have a leaderboard on the dashboard. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I'm going to make X number of exposures every day. And here's the fun part. The leaderboard is visible to all the other AdvNav users. So there's no faking it. You'll be able to see exactly where you stand. And it's like having a personal accountability mirror right there in the app, reflecting to you what's going on. So the question is, are you keeping your word to yourself? Are you doing what you promised you're going to do, what the goal was? And remember, you are the business entrepreneur here. No one's going to pressure you to do more, because each of us have different time schedules. So don't make the AdvNav, don't forget to make your AdvNav app yours. Personalize it, put your headshot on there, link up your social feeds, and make sure you have a booking link, whether it's through Candlery, I think that's what it's called, or Google Calendar. There's free calendars out there. The more customized your app is, the more seamless it will be to share with others. Plus, it makes you look like the pro you are. So we're going to give you a challenge for the week. For today, actually, not for the week. I'm going to give you some homework for the week. I'd like you to make at least 2, and preferably at least 5 exposures in the next 24 hours directly to a contact through their contact record to create the trackable exposures. So before we dive into the app, I want to leave you with one final challenge. After I walk you through the process, commit to making at least 2 exposures in the next 24 hours. Better yet, why not knock them all out in the next 20 minutes? We're going to do it live. Once you see how fast and easy it is to send a message or invite someone to take a look at what we're offering, you'll realize this whole thing is practically built for those stolen moments. You know, the in-between times where you can knock out a few invites and keep things moving. So let me go ahead and flip my screen to the app. Voila! And let me show you a few things about the app. So if this is your first time, I'm going to teach you what you can do, how you can add people, because at the top here, you're going to see it says contacts. And on yours, if you haven't added any contacts, it's going to say 0. So the first thing we need to do is add a contact. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do that. You can do it manually. So let's say you're talking to someone on Facebook and you don't know them. They're not already in your phone. All you have to do is come down here to the icon at the bottom, click the plus sign, and type whatever information you have. What is beautiful about this is that it's not going to require anything. So if you just put down Bob, well, luckily on social media, you would have their last name. So let's say it's Bob Jones, but you don't have his phone number or email. I would definitely encourage you to write some kind of note if you don't know more about them, just to jog your memory later. And then you would hit continue. That's how you would do it for somebody that's not in your phone. So let's go ahead and do it for somebody that's in your phone. And I'd like you guys, if you have your app, go ahead and open it up and let's do this right now. At the top right-hand corner, it says import. Let's open the import wizard. And here, I want you to type in the name of somebody that you want to add. So in my case, I'm going to add myself. And by the way, you can add yourself. And if you want to play with this, you can't break it. So you can play with it, add yourself to it, send yourself some things. And then all I have to do is click import. And then I could add a note if I wanted to, but just hit continue. This one's already pre-populated. Now, at this point, this is going to ask you if you want to add them to an email campaign. And we're going to go into more detail about this. But at this moment in time, the email campaign is not what you want to invite them to. That's going to be for someone that says, no, not right now. And so you're just going to keep it on none, and you're going to hit not yet. Do I want to follow a schedule up? No, not yet either, because I'm just adding them. Now, there could be a situation where you're out at a store, you know, maybe you're at the grocery store and you meet someone and you add them and they tell you to send something to them and follow up next Tuesday. So again, case by case, but for now, we're going to say not yet. And then here's my list. I'm going to actually click on, and be careful that you don't click on the stars. I'm just going to click right there. This is called our contact card. And in the contact card, we have lots of wonderful things. And again, each of the trainings are going to go through these things more and more. So today, what we want you to look at is how to send a resource. So if I click on that, it's going to pre-populate. I want, just in case, sometimes all this doesn't show up, I want you to look at the top and make sure that the white is on company, because there is a personal tab as well that we're going to teach you all about later. So if it's on personal, then this isn't going to show. So make sure it's on company. And as you can see here, and I want you guys to familiarize yourself with this app. As I just mentioned, you can't break it. So click buttons. Typically, the first thing you're going to want to do is get permission. Now, if you've already got permission, if this is a family member, they said it's okay to send them information, that's great. But I want to share something with you just in case you didn't know this. We all know that spammers are a pain in the behind, and there are a lot of spamming laws. And so cell providers will actually block text messages, like meaning you won't even know. They aren't going to let you know. It's not like the cell provider sends the sender a message that says, we just blocked your text message. I wish they would, but they don't. So you send a text with a link to someone, and you're not the wiser that they blocked it. So we want to make sure that you are asking permission. The cell providers want to see a two-way communication between you and the person that you're talking to, and see them say yes. They've got bots and AI watching everything. So there's a whole bunch of scripts here. As you can see, we got a ton of them. And all you have to do is click on one and click the preview. And it's going to pre-populate the person's name. So remember, I just imported myself, so that's why it says Bullioness Dawn. I'm also in a demo account by Joe Pro. So at the bottom, it's going to be signed by Joe. So this is going to automatically fill in for your contact at the top and your name at the bottom. And here's something. Can I send you a short video link about my new gold and silver business that I think you'll absolutely love? Now, maybe you've went through all these and this is the one that fits the most, but it's not perfect because I just went to lunch with them. You can always modify it. At the bottom here, once I click this button here, then it's going to open up an email toggle or icon, a text message icon, and a copy, paste, or share icon for like social media. And so in this case, I'm going to click on the text message. Now, if the email is not in the profile, then this is going to be grayed out. So let me click on the text message. It's going to bring it up. And if you're on an Android, it's going to look a little different. But essentially, I want you to see that you can come in here and say, write whatever you want. You can modify it however you want. So it was great seeing you. So if you just happen to run into them, then you could type something like this. Okay. And then you would just click go. I'll send it to myself. All right. And now what that's going to do is that's going to keep track of what you've done. And you can always go under your activity log for that person. Again, I'm under this person's card. So it's going to bring up what I've done. And as soon as they write back and say yes, then I can send them. And what I would do is come back here. There's so many things that you could choose from. But typically, after permission, you don't have to do this in order. The secrets page is a lead generation page that is one of the only options or one of the only things that's exclusive for the pro level. I want to let you guys know that if you are on the free level, free program version, that it's very robust and that everything that you need to close someone is in it. But of course, anytime there's a premium version, it's going to have more bells and whistles. So that's what that is. So if you're on the free version, you could start with a survey. But if you're talking to someone, I wouldn't use a survey for that. Honestly, surveys are more for social media when you're just trying to drive people to answer questions. And if you click on any of these things, again, you can hit open and it's going to open it up so that you can see what they're going to get. And really cool. So we've got these great surveys that are customized for our At Cost Metals business. It's a 1-minute survey. And Rapid Funnel is a $7 million company that has really built out this for the network marketing industry. And so they know what's effective, what works, and they've helped us create this survey. And this, by the way, most of the surveys and so forth are going to be more generic. It's not going to talk about At Cost Metals. They've also found that when it comes to surveys, that it's better not to be specific about a certain company. You should explain how you can. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by a question. I'll answer questions in the Q&A at the end. I'll come back to that. I'll remember what I was just saying. But so they've just found that the survey is best if it's not about the company. We're going to, once we get the information from them, once they fill this out and they send it to you, it's going to be under that contacts card, and you're going to be able to then reach out to them and know what is the best resource to reach out to them. So let's say I would recommend that you start with the peak. Once you get permission, and again, everyone's going to have different favorites, and based on your contact, you should think, who is this contact? What would they like? If you don't know them at all, this one here is a great one. It's called the anchor at the very top, anchor during turbulent times. And all of these peak videos are about 1 to 3 minutes. They're what we call intro videos, sizzle videos. Now, all these videos are going to be either some of, well, actually, I won't say all of them are. Some of them will have at-cost metals in them, but some of them will not. Like, for instance, this one is Why Silver Will Make You a Millionaire. This is some financial experts explaining gold and silver. But if I click on it just to show you what it looks like, this is what we mean by, if you're brand spanking new, you can be set up to get started within minutes. This is one of the landing pages. And on here is the video we want to send them. And then learn more, on the learn more button. If they keep clicking that, they're going to cycle through 12 to 13 different videos. So essentially, while you are sleeping, it's going to be babysitting you. And after they've seen what they need to see, do not be surprised that they click the Join Now button. And that Join Now button is going to be linked directly to your at-cost metals sign-up page. This is the page I'm talking about. We're going directly to it. Now, this one says join because we just put that in as a demo. And it is actually somebody's. I don't know whose it is. It's not mine. But this is yours would pre-populate here. And I'm going to show you how to make sure that you do that, to put that into your profile. So go through and decide which one you like. But if you want to just get started, click on that. And again, you would click on the text if you're going to text them, or the email if you're going to email them. And this is where, again, it's going to pre-populate with the script, so you don't have to think about anything. I mean, we're going to make it so easy for you. And you're like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like this. Now, this is a unique trackable URL. When you send it, it's going to become hot. We want to make sure that you yourself do not click it if you're sending it to a contact. If you're sending it to yourself, go ahead and click it and enjoy it and see what happens, etc. But if you're ever sending something to someone, don't click the links, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a notification that says they clicked the link. You're going to get excited. You might even call them the next day, and they're not going to know what you're talking about because they've been too busy. They didn't even see it, etc. So make sure you don't do that. That's why we say go ahead and add yourself if you want to. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're just going to come in here and you're going to open up all of these and click play, or you're going to click play, open up a landing page, and you're going to click learn more, and you're going to go through the cycle. And at the end of the cycle, it's going to loop back because each one is going to start at a different point. This one is a presentation, and the presentation comes after the sizzle video. So typically it's an intro, then the overview, and then the comp plan, and then product pricing, and so on and so forth. Then we've got some great things sprinkled in there. We've got so many resources. We've really built it out. Under pricing, we've got the comparison that Mike and Ricardo did that is phenomenal. And then this one here, this product pricing page, it's the product pricing page on the At Cost Metals website, except the difference here is that your information is going to be at the very bottom. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. How cool is that? Again, remember, this is the demo account, so that's why it says Joe Pro with your Join Now and your Learn More. So that's the difference. Absolutely love it. So enjoy. I'm not going to go through all of these right now, but under follow up, so much fun. And this is where we've been adding, is eventually I'm going to have a lot more of these event highlights. And I'm going to try to take a sneak bit of like 3 minutes per person of all the speakers that were at the kickoff event, put them in here because we don't want really long videos, but we want to really keep this robust. And all the resources are on the free version. So all resources are always free. Another one that's really I love is End of Road documentary. A lot of people don't understand the importance of gold and silver. Here's a documentary that's going to explain it, what's been going on ever since the crash, or actually beyond that, the crash of 2008, but for the last 100 years, what's going on with our money and why gold and silver is important. We have the full version and a 9-minute segment just to wet their whistle. Okay. So let me now, and go ahead, when it's time for questions, you can type them in the chat box, and you can also raise your hand if you want to talk directly. So let's go ahead now and have you do, I'm going to go back to the home. If you haven't already done it, let's just do it really quickly. Go through, click on the plus sign. And actually, I want you to click on this wizard button. And it says, select 5 contacts, go through and just go 1, 2, obviously people that you want to invite. But I will say, you could also just type in their name like I did and pull them up. So I'll take a minute and wait for you to do that, add them, and then one by one, send them a permission. Now, I'm not going to wait for everyone to do it, but completely. But I want you guys to really get in the habit of taking the time to actually do the work right now while we're excited about it, while you're right here, captivated. Oh, good, Sandy. I can see you saw the import. I don't know if you have the pro or not. How you would know if you have the pro, if you if you do not have the pro, at the very top, it will say upgrade on the dashboard. Oh, great. Thank you, Sandy. So while you guys are sending that, for the rest of you, I want you to come down to the bottom under your more button. Okay, wait a minute, Sandy. You would have to have already had your name. If you're trying to import someone, you would have to have already put your name in your phone. But if you just wanted to add yourself, you're just going to click here and you're just going to type your name. Maybe Sandy Test. You don't even, and then put your phone number in. You don't have to put your email if you don't want to. When she said, how do I add my name? I was thinking about the profile. And I was like, wait a minute, your name should already be in there. But I want to show you guys something super important. We need to make sure that your profile is integrated with your At Cost Metals website. So under the More button, you have a lot of options, but at the very top, I want you to go to Settings. And the most important thing here, let me scroll, is your referral code username. Make sure that it says your username. This is not a link. This is just the word or code that you chose at sign up with At Cost Metals. And you can edit it anytime you want. And by the way, if you happen to manage other accounts, maybe for family members, etc., you are more than welcome to have as many AdvNav accounts as you have At Cost Metals accounts. So you don't have to every time. It would get really confusing if every time you sent something out, you were changing this to maybe your wife's or your husband's user referral code. It could get quite confusing. So just make sure that you just set up one under their email. And go through, and here we have a whole bunch of social media links. You can go, if you don't know how to grab your social media links, just go to Google and say, type in how do I find my link directly to TikTok, to WhatsApp, to Facebook, to Instagram, and it will bring up the instructions. And that's how you'll do it. Then you'll pre-populate this. And when you do that, then it's going to add it to your business card. Forgive my dog. Sky, let me show you your business card. Again, it's so nice. Oh, by the way, we'll discuss this more, but if I go directly to the resources, it's not going to be trackable. So at the bottom here, for it to be trackable, you first go to a contact, you click on the contact, then you click on send resource, and then it's going to bring this up. When you do it this way, it's going to be unique, it's going to be trackable. But if you come directly down here to resources and click on that, I have to go back to the home to do it. There we go. Then it's going to bring up the same page, but the difference here is that it's not trackable. And so why would we ever do that? Well, how this works is for social media. So since we don't know who's clicking on the link, we can't track it. And so this is where if you are friends with me on Facebook, you see that I post a lot of stuff from the AdvNav resources to my social media feeds. And this is how I do it. So let's say today I want to go directly into pricing and share with them the price comparison. Or better yet, what of the testimonials that were added just yesterday? We have one called the Power Couple, which is Antoine and his wife, Sarah. And then we have one that's called the Financial Strategist, which is Todd. Those were the two that were just added yesterday from the AdvNav launch event. And then we have some other great ones. If you haven't seen these, again, play them. This one's really compelling, a testimonial about how much you'll save over by coming to us versus the same thing at Costco. And this one is amazing. This is Uwe, and he has done over 30 years of central banking researching. And he kind of explains why it's so important about gold and silver and why he's so delighted about at cost metals. Okay, and that's how you would share it on your social media. Okay, let's see. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat box or go ahead and raise your hand. Now, this is being recorded and live streamed. And because I'm doing this solo, I don't want to toggle to YouTube to grab the link, but I will be sharing it within the At Cost Metals groups on Facebook and Telegram. So if you don't see it, then just check with your upline and ask them to get it for you. And you can share this with your team. We encourage you to do so. And remember, just 5 people doing it and sending 5 is going to be 25 exposures. It's just a numbers game, guys. You guys are making it so easy for me. Well, thank you so much. If there's no further questions, I just want to remind you that next week is week number 2. And by the way, they don't have to start with week number 1. You could start even if you got started on week number 7, because the information is always going to be redundant. There's always going to be new people. Always, always, always. And so we need to accommodate the new people and make sure that they hit the pavement running. And so there'll always be redundancy, but there's going to be gems and nuggets of wisdom within everything just to help you maybe learn something you didn't know. And our next week is going to be the new team members' first 90 days. It's so important that you get a check in their hands within the first 90 days. Now, if they've went over 90 days, don't fret. Again, we got that 300, 300, 300. And don't quote me, but I believe it's first check. Okay. So even if you had started all the way back in the spring, I believe it's 300, 300, 300 for your very first check, that it's going to be retroactive. That's really cool. So we're going to learn next week the difference between recruiting and sponsoring, because that is a big difference. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our flock. And we have a question. What is the name of the @CostMetals Facebook group? There's a one that Antoine leads. It says @CostMetals affiliates, something like his group team name is Next Level. So it says Antoine McBay, but it says @CostMetals, Antoine McBay, Next Level. So like, do something like that. And the reason I'm promoting Antoine McBay is essentially he is our master distributor. We don't have a master distributor at CostMetals because at the very top is our pot of gold, but he is on that very next level. And the majority of people in at CostMetals fall under him. And we keep everyone updated. Now, you must be a paid member to be in that Facebook group. We're going to verify your membership before we allow you in. Yeah, @CostMetals is spelled out on that one. So remember, your challenge for the day is to, if you didn't do it right now, well, why don't we do this? Let's have a little accountability on the chat box. Let's go ahead and how many people are you going to reach out to before end of the week, which is Saturday night Central Time? Type in what your number is. And, it could be a lot, it could be a little, but we want you to at least do 5. Oh, come on, Sandy, you could do more than 2. I want you to pay attention to how many people you have actually in your phone. You can go and do your contacts and go all the way, scroll to the very bottom or click on Z and scroll to the very bottom, and it's going to show you how many contacts. Now, most people have over 1,000 contacts in your phone. Surely you could figure out 5 that would be interested in gold and silver, already buy gold and silver and paying extra elsewhere, or love network marketing and would love to be garage qualified in gold and silver, or have been praying for an answer for additional income. So just keep in mind, you are the bearer of good news. You are bringing gold to them, literally and figuratively, I guess the word is, and helping them to see that there is a way out of whatever's going on, the illusion or whatever's going on. It's not an illusion, but what's going on in society, in our economy. Great. So Gail's going to do 7. And this is why we set up Funnel Fridays on Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern, is we have about 36 hours after this is over to actually get the work done, get your teams excited, and help make sure that they're pumping out information on Friday and Saturday. Because again, it's so important to get checks in everyone's hands. It flips the switch and people realize it's real. I'm getting paid. And I personally am, I will do at least 10. How's that, Sandy? I will do that. And by the way, sending it out on Messenger works as well. But I will say, it's best if you do make a phone call. And I know we hate making those phone calls, but since I got a few minutes, let me just give you a brief lesson on this, what I've learned. When you're reaching out to someone by phone, you want to do a few things, and you could set up your own script, but make sure you bullet point a few things. First thing you're going to want to do is obviously let them know who you are. So, hey, Bill, it's Dawn. I know we haven't spoken in years. Okay, so sometimes it's like that. And then mention your time. I'm running out the door right now. I don't have a lot of time, but you came to mind and I wanted to reach out to you. So always preface this, you don't got a lot of time. Then mention, this is a business call. So the purpose is business. You are not there to catch up, spend 90 minutes on the phone, talking about the family and everything. At this moment in time, the purpose of this call is you want to get on and off in 2 minutes. You want to then give them some kind of genuine compliment. So this is not about being fake. This is about being genuine. So, you're going to think about this before you call them. What do you like about them? Again, if they are a mentor, what do you admire about them? How they have helped you? Because that's going to butter them up a little bit. But again, be genuine. And then you're going to say the purpose of the call. Something has crossed my desk. I just learned about. I need your opinion on something, your honest feedback, something like that. There's a million different ways to do it. And I'm sure your leaders have taught you some things, but if not, look, see the best way that you want to do that. And then just say, give them a time, give them the homework, and make sure that they commit. So you just say, would you have time in the next 24 hours to watch a 3-minute video? And then typically you want them to verify, you want them to say yes verbally, and then you want to confirm it like 2 to 3 times. I know that sounds redundant, but it's psychologically. Somehow you say, can I send you this? It's really short. Will you watch it? I need you to watch it in the next 24 hours. Another thing that's very effective is saying, would you please do me this favor? I really need you to do this. And so they say yes. Say, okay, great. So I'm going to send it over to here. Would you prefer texting or email? And then they're going to tell you, and then you're going to go, okay, so if I texted to you today in the next hour, you're going to go ahead and make time to watch it in the next 24 hours and let me know your thoughts. And they say, yeah. And then great. Okay, fantastic. Now, the clincher is if you are bold enough and you can do this, and again, this is all about just being assumptive. This is just all about being confident. Then you say, okay, so since I know that you're going to be watching it, what is a good time for me to call? Can I call you tomorrow? And I wouldn't say what is a good time, actually. You don't want to leave it open-ended. You want to actually say what time. You're going to throw out a time that you're going to call them tomorrow to follow up, to get their thoughts. And they're going to correct you if they're not available. So you're going to say, okay, how about this? How about I call you? Gosh, I'm open tomorrow at 2:00. Why don't I call you tomorrow to get your feedback at 2:00 tomorrow, Eastern time? And they said, wait, no, I can't do 2:00, but I can do 5:00. Bada bing, you've got it. And now you're going to confirm it the one last time. Okay, great. So I'm going to send this to you. You're going to watch it. I'm going to call you tomorrow at 5:00 Eastern time. And you're going to get off the phone, and you're going to be off the phone within 5 minutes. So I've heard people that are like, how do you do all these calls? Every time I get on the phone, I'm talking to someone at least an hour because I haven't talked to them in years. Another thing that you want to mention is, why don't we set up a time where we both have time where we can catch up on everything next week? So throw that out so they don't think that you're just all about business. You really do care about them. You do want to catch up, but I'm coming up against a deadline and I got 50 calls to make. I don't have the time right now to do it, but I will next week. How about that? And Sandy's asking a question, can we import a list? So we would, yes, the answer is yes. However, we would encourage you not to do too many. The whole idea is to do 5, 10, 15, 20 at a time, because you need to process them and follow up with them. So you can click as many as you want. A minimum of 5 is what we ask. I mean, you can just bring in 1 if you want, but we're going to ask for a minimum of 5. But again, once you go over 20, you may not even do anything with them. And there is a way through the desktop version that we'll go through in training on one of the future weeks about how you can actually import Excel files, but we are not, they're really strict on making sure that they're going to be carrying the responsibility of spam. So let's say a professional, I don't even know what you call them, email guy joins and then decides they're going to try to import 7,000 of people off their list and just start blasting everyone. That's not going to work. They're only going to let you do, I think, a maximum of 100 at a time. And then there's statistics on your dashboard right here that show what your number is. And as you can see in this pro demo version, this one's high at 90. But if you start sending things out and people are not engaging, so there's 2 words I want you to remember. Exposure is when you send something out to someone, a survey, a video, etc. And then engagement is when they click it. And that's when it's real, because we could expose everyone. We could blast everyone with a whole bunch of stuff. So your data and metrics is being measured against your exposure to engagement ratio, and it comes up with your statistics. So if this number starts falling really low, there is a chance that if it gets below 20, that you're going to be warned, and eventually your account will be shut down because you're putting Rapid Funnel in jeopardy of spamming. So just pay attention to that. We'll go through everything, but this is really a warm market tool. There is a way, and we will show you how you can generate leads yourself through social media, utilizing the landing pages, but otherwise it's really a warm market tool. And it's so much more than that. So fantastic. All right. Well, everyone, I really appreciate you being on here for our week 1 of the restart of the Funnel Friday series. This is all about your success, catapulting your business, and making sure that each week you are staying focused and staying strong as we get closer to the end of the week. So join us again next Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for our next one, where we're going to be talking about the difference between recruiting and sponsoring. I appreciate y'all joining us. Let me find the screen stop.